All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Just Hoop Talk. This is the draft edition. We are doing a mock draft here with Justin Henry, Will Thompson. Will, you ready to knock out this mock draft?
Hell yeah, man. I know they've been dying to hear our picks, man. So here it goes. Let's get it.
The mock draft. So what we're going to do is just go pick by pick. And instead of each of us having our own, we're just going to select from the best available player that each of us thinks is a good fit for the team.
You are now tuned in to the next best thing. Justin Henry, Will Thompson.
Yeah,
Let's go.
y'all can talk that talk, but this is just Hoop Talk. Updates on the news, analysis who's who gon' win, who gon' lose. Is it true? Is it true? This is just Hoop Talk. This is just Hoop Talk. Ball.
All right, so we're here for our 2020 NBA mock draft for the 2021 season. Let's get things started off. The Minnesota Timberwolves have the number one pick, and they need a lot of things, obviously, outside of D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns. But with the number one selection, the Minnesota Timberwolves take Anthony Edwards, shooting guard from Georgia. I think it's a great fit for him. He's a nice, strong finisher at the rim, also athletic. And, when you got a player like that who can come in and create shots, but then also is a strong finisher for that team especially, I think it's a great fit overall. Somebody to kind of loosen, the responsibilities for Cat, for D'Angelo, give them just another playmaker on the floor. Anthony Edwards, I think, is going to be a great fit with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, I think that's a great spot for him, and I think he'll help them a lot for sure. So, let's move on to the number two pick. So at number two, I'm going a little wild here. I'm going LaMelo Ball to the Golden State Warriors. Yes. Yeah, I think, man, I just look at he's a playmaker. He's a playmaker. He's a facilitator. He's got shooters all around him. I think it's a good fit. I know a lot of people are thinking Wiseman because he's a big, and the Warriors don't really have a big. They don't really have a true point guard either. Obviously, Steph is a point guard, but he's not really a distributor. Like, I'd love to see LaMelo out there distributing to those guys, getting the ball to the shooters, getting them into their offense. I think that'd be super entertaining. So that's why I'm going with LaMelo. Yeah,
definitely he would be able to distribute. He probably would take some of those Splash Brother threes too. So I can't be too mad at it. Yeah. Number three, the Charlotte Hornets are up, and this team obviously was not in contention last year and has a lot to work on. I probably would have took LaMelo here if he fell, but I'm going to go with James Wiseman. I think that they can get back to basics, get that big that they need, and just provide a little bit of value. Best available player at the time of the draft right there going to Charlotte, James Wiseman.
Yeah, I think definitely that's a best available player situation. So at number 4 with the Chicago Bulls, I think it's the same situation. Pick up who you can pick up. They don't have – obviously Zach LaVine is there, Kobe White, but there's not a lot of guys that they really have built around, so they got to go with the best player available. So that's why I'm saying Deni Avdija. Hopefully I said that right. Deni Avdija out of Israel. A lot of people are comparing him to Luka. I don't think that's fair, man. I know he's a foreign player coming over. Similar style of play, but I like to compare him to Hedo Turkoglu. Like, a lot of people sleep on how good Hedo was, man. His game is a little bit more mechanical. He's a little bit kind of built a little stronger. So I compare him to Hedo. If you don't know who Hedo is, look up Hedo Turkoglu. He was a baller back in the day, man. So,
he did work. He did work not just for the Kings, but for Orlando too. And you start to think of players. I think it's easy, like you said, for everybody to go to the recent hot player. Right. Kind of, I think everybody's saying like Anthony Edwards looks like Donovan Mitchell, and it's like, nah, you can kind of make different comparisons. You don't always have to have recency bias when it comes to players. Number 5 for the Cleveland Cavaliers, gonna go with Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin, nice playmaker, and he kind of reminds me a little bit of Amari Stoudemire with the way he carries himself on the floor, and I think that'd be a good fit, especially with Andre Drummond playing probably his last season there in Cleveland after taking his player option, and Kevin Love, not sure how long he's going to be there as well, so I think that would be a good fit to step in with the young guards there, Colin Sexton, and you got Darius Garland there too. Just a great fit, I think, overall for that team.
Yeah, definitely, and I think even Tristan Thompson has been rumored to be gone, maybe even ending up in LA. So that might be the perfect spot for him to flourish. At number 6, the Atlanta Hawks. They have some good pieces, man. They really do. They have some good young pieces, but I think they're kind of missing that wing defender. And so that's why I'm going with Isaac Okoro. I obviously he's not a great shooter, but he's super athletic. He's a really good defender, has potential to be a great defender, and I think that fills a need that they have because we know Trey's not a defender. Cam Reddish has the potential, but he hasn't really shown that, so I think that's a good fill spot for them.
Yeah, I can't be mad at that. And, you go look at teams, young teams like that, a lot of times they have to start over. That's what the Hawks did a couple years ago. It's like you start over. And I kind of think that's what the Detroit Pistons are going to be doing here if they haven't already started. I can see Blake Griffin leaving the team very soon. Derrick Rose is probably on his way out. Got a nice piece of Christian Wood. Not sure they're going to keep him. But I think a good fit to replace Derrick Rose in that spot. Killian Hayes. I think Killian Hayes is a good fit there at that point guard position. When you're starting fresh, it's always good to start with the strong leader at point guard position. I think it's a good fit.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that for them and for him. I really like his potential, so I'm looking forward to that. So at number 8, the New York Knicks, baby.
Knicks. It's got to be somebody good for the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks need something, man.
Man, so I'm going with Tyrese Halliburton. And the reason I'm doing that is, like, the Knicks keep drafting guards that can't shoot, bro. Like, how many years in a row have these dudes been drafting guards that cannot shoot? Tyrese is a guard who can shoot. They need that. They need shooters in New York. They don't have any shooters in New York. So hopefully he can help turn things around in the Big Apple. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. It's tough with these shooters, man, because you never know.
You just don't know.
And a team that has actually really good shooter in Bradley Beal, the Washington Wizards are up at number 9. They got John Wall coming back as well. Just drafted Rui. They got, Thomas Bryant down low. We don't know if Davis Bertans is going to be back. But I think that a good player for them, fit-wise, would be Patrick Williams. And so taking him at the number 9 slot gives them that defensive presence there at the wing. I know that they have the scoring on lock. So I think a wing defender, especially in the East where they have, some talented wing players there, would be a good fit for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like the potential of that team with John Wall coming back, too. They're going to be exciting for sure. So speaking of potential, moving on to number 10, the Phoenix Suns, a team that has, you saw them in the bubble. They look like they're ready, man. They look like they're ready to take that next step, which is just crazy to think like the West is going to be that much tougher. But if you look at one area where they could kind of, need some help, and that'd be point guard. So I think they're going to go with Kira Lewis from Alabama. He's a smaller point guard, super quick, gets compared to De'Aaron Fox a lot. Plays that kind of style, likes to push the ball. I definitely think they can use some help at point guard, so that's why I think they'll go that direction with Kira Lewis.
Okay, push the pace a little bit. I like it. They got Rubio there, but I think his time will probably be up here soon. They got the young enough team to be able to push it, man, so I love the fit there. Number 11, San Antonio Spurs, man. We see the decline of the Spurs here. They're not the same team they used to be. Got some building blocks there in the backcourt with DeJounte Murray. Lonnie Walker looks amazing. You don't know what's going to happen with DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge here this offseason. So I think they're going to go with the big. Trey Lyles is down there. He kind of plays a big power forward. But I think that Onyeka Okongwu from USC, actually, little tidbit here. Will and I were discussing. Remember, he actually played with LaMelo's team in Chino Hills, man. So be on the lookout for him. He's going to bring a lot of energy and defense to that team.
Yeah, he's super athletic, super exciting, super interesting. Love to see him in San Antonio, see what Pop can do with him down there. So at number 12, we're going with the home team, baby, Sacramento Kings. I am going with who are they gonna destroy this year? I'm going with RJ Hampton. I think this is a little bit of a wild card. But the Kings, they got to do something, man. They got to do something to shake things up a little bit. He has the potential to be really good, and that's what they need, dude. They don't need another mediocre. They have a bunch of guys who are like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They need a guy who's going to come through and make a difference. So I'm going with RJ Hampton. We know the ceiling is high. but we also know it could be a bust for sure. So we'll see.
Yeah, Kings are a tough bunch, and they need something over there because
Yeah.
nothing's working with the Kings right now.
No.
Team that's kind of on the rise, though, the New Orleans Pelicans. You saw the fit with Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Zion. They're building something special out there. Drew Holiday, obviously, and there's been a lot of rumors about him getting traded. And if he does, which I do think Drew Holiday is going to be moved, they're going to need somebody else to replace that defensive intensity. I think Devin Vassell from Florida is a good fit there. Good 3-and-D guy. Nice size there on the wing. I like it. Devin Vassell, New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah. That's I think we're getting into the part of the draft now where we're looking at teams that are just looking to add pieces that fit what they're doing. It's not necessarily like best player available. They're looking to add guys to make a difference. And now one of those teams for sure coming up at 14, believe it or not, the Boston Celtics somehow are at the 14 spot.
They got a few picks in this draft, man. It's crazy.
It's wild. It's like I think they have draft picks in like 2025 already done. Like they're already loaded up. So I'm going with Jalen Smith. For them, I think they're going to be looking to fill some holes down low with their bigs. We saw that for sure in the playoffs and the bubble this year. They're going to need some help down low. So I think Jalen Smith will be able to help them out a little bit down there.
I think that's a good pick. Somebody can also kind of play inside out, stretch the field, stretch the court for them. I think that's a good fit. Speaking of stretch the court, at number 15, the Orlando Magic. They got some nice talent there, some nice young talent. They got Vucevic, obviously, Markelle Fultz coming in there. Jonathan Isaac, unfortunately, got hurt on his way back, Aaron Gordon. But I think they're going to add another Aaron to this team that can help stretch the field, and that's Aaron Naismith. Shooting over 50% in his college career from three-point range, which is crazy. Kind of giving me that J.J. Redick, Klay Thompson, Chris Middleton type vibe of just being able to get your shot whenever you want and hit it.
Yeah.
I like the energy that he'd be able to bring to that offense. And the outside shooting is definitely something that they need down there in Orlando.
Yeah, I really like him. Anytime you get your hands on a shooter in the draft, man, like I think he might even be somebody who could shoot up in the draft just because he can shoot. But we'll have to see. So at number 16 is the Portland Trailblazers. I think an important need that they need to fill is a wing defender. We obviously saw that with LeBron and the Lakers just running through them, right? Like they had no answer for that whatsoever. And not saying they're going to go out in the draft and get a LeBron stopper, but they need to fill some spots at the wing. So I have Sadiq Bey going to them. A wing, long, athletic dude, the defender. I think he's similar to like Nasir Little, who they drafted last year, but just didn't work out. But I think you got to take another shot. And especially in the West, you have to have wings who can defend. And you got Luka, you got LeBron, you got guys like that. You got to be able to defend that position. So. Yeah,
you can never have enough defenders. And for the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think this is a team you can never have too much down low, not enough rebounding. And I'm going to go with Precious Achunwa. Kind of gives me those Clint Capella vibes, just that rebounder, defensive presence down low, kind of just being able to rebound the ball extremely well, get Cat playing a little bit more outside like he tends to like to do. I think it's a good fit there for Minnesota.
Yeah, I think I like that comparison because he's a little bit undersized, but he plays bigger than he actually is. Like people don't realize like Clint Capella's like 6'9" or 6'10". Like he's not as big as he seems. So I like that comparison a lot. So what do we got? Number 18 Dallas Mavericks.
It's a tough one. The Mavs are a tough one, man, because they're right there.
This one was tough for me. I'm gonna go wild card again. I'm mixing things up and I'm going Cole Anthony.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I like him being in that spot. I don't like him being too high in the draft and putting a lot of pressure on that guy. I think he's a good young player. I think he kind of gets in his head a little bit too much. Get him in a spot where he can, just be a solid scorer, work on his game defensively, work on being a little bit more of a true point guard. I like him there, and I think that'd be really interesting to see him being in Dallas.
Yeah, I think they could use definitely that other score, especially Tim Hardaway Jr. Dips out of town, which could happen. I like that pick. And then at number 19, the Nets. Obviously, This team is loaded, man, with talent. Got Kyrie, KD on their way back with Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen. This team has some talent.
A lot.
They're definitely in win now mode. And when you talk win now, I think you need players who can make an impact now and not later on in the future. And a player I think that can do that is Desmond Bane. And not just for the fact that he's 22 years old, but also for the fact that he plays off ball. When you got two ball-dominant players like KD and Kyrie, I think having somebody that can be kind of more of an off-ball, three-type player fits the narrative for what they'll need.
I love that. We talked about that in our what's next for the Nets too.
Yes.
So them being able to pick up shooters. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, check that video out as well.
Yes, sir.
Definitely looking for some shooters there, some guys who don't need the ball in their hand. That's going to be big for them.
Yeah, because they got a bunch of people that can handle the rock, man.
Yeah, for sure. So at number 20, we're going with the Miami Heat. I think the first thing I think of when I think of the Heat is point guard help. Obviously, Dragic getting hurt, no one predicted that, but I think he's a little older. They didn't have much of an answer for Dragic being gone, so I think they have to fill that need. And I really, really, really like Trey Jones from Duke. He played with so many great players. He played behind a lot of great players. He didn't get the attention that I think he deserved at Duke. He was really good. He's a really solid point guard.
Yeah.
Shoot it, can defend, distribute the ball. He does a little bit of everything. He's undersized, obviously, but I like Trey Jones a lot, and I think it's going to be a great fit for him in Miami. Who
knows what's going on with Dragic, man, and they definitely could use the defense there at that point guard position, which would be a perfect fit. And point guard's such a position, man. It's like you have to pick the right player, and it has to be the right fit too with coaching staff. And I think for 76ers, this is a team that, obviously they got Ben Simmons, they got Tobias Harris, just drafted Thibault last year, Joel Embiid is there. They need another person who can take command of this offense at any time. And Doc Rivers has always had strong point guards, and I think a player that really kind of fits that mold, strong point guard type role, is Cassius Winston. And, you kind of can see he's a leader on the court, and he just has that type of vibe where, at least he can be a leader for that team when they need it most in the playoffs, when things are breaking down or players get hurt, and just kind of be the rock for that team, especially, like I said, with the Doc Rivers-led team. So Cassius Winston to the Sixers.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. I like to compare him to Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, perfect fit.
He reminds me a lot of him, maybe even a little bit smaller and a little bit less athletic. Yeah. But he's just a natural leader, a guy that just gets the job done. They need that for sure in Philadelphia. So at 22, we're going with the Denver Nuggets. I am liking Alexi. I don't know how to say it.
Man, if you know how to say that right, we in the wrong profession.
Yeah, right. Pokusevsky.
They need one of the teleprompters that says Alexi. Like, you need to have one of those, man.
But I think, look, he's a big. Obviously, they can use some help down low with Jokic. They got abused down low. You really started to realize like it was just Jokic, and then it was a big fall off from there. So I think being able to develop a big, I don't know if he's going to be ready to play this year or maybe down the road, but being able to develop another big to go along with Jokic, I think is a priority for them. So I think that's why that's a good pick. And they have so many projects and guys that they're developing right now with Bol, with MPJ. Like, they can afford to pick a guy that maybe isn't ready to go this year. Maybe a guy who can stay in Europe and develop a little bit and come over later. So that's why I'm going with Alexi.
Hey, you can't be mad at a project, man. And like you said, Denver is kind of taking on some projects. I think a team that hasn't taken on projects and probably will, I think, is the Utah Jazz. And they got Mike Conley, Gobert, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, the team, they have a lot of vets, and they just can't get it done. So I can see this team making a few moves, either taking the route, the youth movement, or even potentially trading for another player who can come in and make an impact. But I think in this draft, they're going to work on players who can complement Donovan Mitchell long-term. And the player that I'm thinking of is Jaden McDaniels. A little bit of a project, but a player that can grow alongside Donovan Mitchell as he extends his career. I think it's a good fit for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, I like that, man. The Jazz are an interesting team. The West is going to be tough.
Man.
You have to take chances right now. You got to take a gamble on a guy who you think can have some potential. So at the next pick, speaking of taking gambles, we got the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think they're going to go with Theo Maledon, point guard from France. He's going to be a project as well, but he has a lot of potential. He has a really good feel for the game. He's got good size, good length, a natural point guard, which is something that they really don't have there. I don't know if he's going to come in and play immediately, but if he's able to develop, he can be a high ceiling guy for sure. So I think he's worth the risk there in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and sometimes these teams, I think it's a good pick for them, especially there's a lot of uncertainty with what's going on with that team, and they have a win now team.
That's true.
So it's good to have assets on deck. The OKC Thunder are up next, and obviously they have a ton of assets that they got from that Paul George deal. And this number 25 pick, I think, will be a asset pick for them as well, because they're a team that has a lot of money tied into the cap. Obviously, they got a big contract with CP3 that they have to decide they want to do something with. But I'm not sure if this team is going to be playing for the playoffs like they did this year. If CP3 is not there. I like kid Leandro Palermo, good size, can play with Shai a little bit later in his career. I think that this is a good fit. I'm not sure Danilo is going to be there for too much longer, giving them a little bit of size there for the Thunder.
I like it. So we're going to number 26. Somehow the Celtics are back in the draft again, picking another player. I am going with Josh Green from Arizona for the Celtics. I think he fills kind of that two position spot. I know they have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but they don't have a true shooting guard. I think both of those guys are kind of small forwards. I don't know. I really like Josh Green. I think the fact that that he's available and the Celtics are around, I think they have to pick him up. He looked really good early on in Arizona and then kind of fizzled out at the end of the year, but he showed like flashes and a lot of potential. So I like him. I think he's going to be good at the next level, and he's the rich are just going to get richer with the Boston Celtics. Man. Another good wing for them. So. Yeah.
Well, while the rich get richer, the poor still try to improve. And here we are looking at the New York Knicks at number 27, man. Here we are looking at the Knicks. And I feel like they got to take a chance, man, and maybe even a day two player who probably will go day two on most mocks, but just taking a chance, man. When you got Mitchell Robinson, you got RJ Barrett, it's just like, there's not a whole lot there on the meat right now. You got to take a chance on something. I like Cassius Stanley. Give him another Duke player there that can come in and make an impact, show off some athleticism, man. Put some fans in the seats when we're able to back at MSG, man. Cassius Stanley there, number 27.
Yeah, I definitely I think there's going to be a lot of highlights from him wherever he ends up.
Yes.
So, hey, man, get some attention back to New York. That's for damn sure. They can always take that. So at number 20.
Knicks lost is the theme, right? Knicks lost.
Yeah, for real. So at 28, the Los Angeles Lakers are up. And,
my Lakers, man. What you gonna do with my Lakers, man?
Yeah, I like Tyrell. Is it Tyrell Terry?
Tyrell Terry.
Stanford. Okay. I like the guard from Stanford. Obviously the Lakers. I mean, their pick potentially isn't going to be seeing a lot of playing time, so they can take a risk, and I think he's a solid risk to take. He has a lot of potential. He can really score, man, can really shoot it. Definitely undersized. Reminds me a lot of Trae Young. Probably he won't ever reach that level of potential, but a guard who can score, who can get his own shot, I think is really intriguing for the Lakers and could be a good fit.
Yeah, I like it. Like you said, probably going to be a lot of bench activity for whoever comes in at that role.
Yeah,
but
for real.
You never know, because the bubble, they might extend the rosters with the quick season. It's here now. So you never know. And, the Toronto Raptors is also another team in the bubble who played a long time. You saw a lot of their depth at the center position start to get tested when Gasol was going out. You had Serge in there having to play big minutes. But I do think that they need another big. So I'm going to go with Zeke Nnaji. Just big size overall. I think that this team, Marcus Gasol is planning on playing back overseas next year. So another big for them to have in there and just make an impact with, they obviously have good guard play, good wing play.
Yeah.
It's the area I feel like they could use the most help with. Even if Van Vliet doesn't come back, it's the area that's most pressing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. They got to solidify that, especially if Marcus Gasol's not coming back. That's a huge hole for them. And at number 30, the Celtics again, bro. It's unreal.
Again? Come on, man.
Yes.
The Celtics?
Yes. It's crazy. But
win the
I'm
draft.
going with
That's for
Robert Woodard, who's a forward, small forward, power forward. A guy that can shoot, though, which is really intriguing for them. I guess a bigger version of like Grant Williams, who plays there now, but a guy with more size, can shoot it a little bit, can defend. So I mean, they have everything. They've drafted everything twice. They have 2 of everything. Hey, they're keeping it going.
3 draft picks. They got a whole roster already. What's left for them? They got Taco Fall just chilling in the G League, man.
Just chilling.
Well, what do you guys think, man? That was fun, getting to do a mock draft. What do you guys think? We spot on? Did we get your favorite team right? Let us know in the comments, man. And one thing I do want to talk about is trades, man. Obviously, with teams like the New York Knicks have 2 picks, you got the Celtics with 3, and there's going to be a lot of trade activity too. So let us know if you think any big trades happen, especially with that Warriors number 2 pick. You had LaMelo Ball going there.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. Just Hoop Talk, another edition in the books, mock draft edition. Be sure to like, subscribe, anything. Share the channel. We need it. Just Hoop Talk, another edition of the books. We out.
Peace.